You were told something when you were young. Study hard, get good grades, go to a good college, pick a stable major, graduate with a degree, get a job, work 40 years, retire. And somewhere in the middle of all that, put your money in a savings account because that's the safe thing to do. That's what responsible adults do. Let me ask you something. What if everything you were told about building a stable financial life was actually designed to keep you exactly where you are right now? Not broke enough to panic, not rich enough to be free, just comfortable enough to never question it. Stay with me. What I'm about to show you is going to make you genuinely angry, and then it's going to change how you see everything. Let's start with the savings account, because this is where the trap begins. You open a savings account at your bank. They tell you it's earning interest, it's growing. Your money is working for you. Here's the reality. The average high-yield savings account in the US right now pays somewhere around 4 to 5% annually. That sounds decent, right? Fine. But here's the part they don't advertise. Inflation, the rate at which everything you buy gets more expensive, has been running between 3 and 8% over the last few years. Do the math. If your savings account earns 4% and inflation is running at 4%, you are earning exactly nothing in real terms. Zero. Your purchasing power hasn't moved an inch. And if inflation spikes, you're actually losing money. In real terms, your savings account is a slow leak. Let that sink in. You are being told to put your money somewhere safe, and that safe place is quietly shrinking in value while the bank lends your money out at 10, 15, 20% interest and keeps the difference. That's insane. This literally makes no sense. But okay, at least you have a degree, right? At least the investment in your education is paying off. Let's talk about that. The average cost of a 4-year college degree in the US is now over $100,000. Some private universities, $300,000 or more when you factor in room, board, and fees. And most students aren't paying cash. They're taking on loans. The total student loan debt in America crossed $1.7 trillion. That's trillion with a T. Now let's talk about what happens after graduation. The average starting salary for a new college graduate in the US is around $55,000 to $60,000 per year. That sounds okay until you realize that after taxes, rent, groceries, transportation, and making minimum payments on $50,000 in student debt, you are essentially broke. You are 22 years old, educated, working full-time, and still counting your dollars at the grocery store. Think about that. And here's where it gets really dark. The majors that most people are being pushed into: communications, liberal arts, general business, sociology. These are majors where the median salary after graduation barely clears $40,000. Some of them don't even hit that. $40,000 a year. After 4 years and 6 figures of debt. That's crazy. But wait, here's the part that makes me actually lose my mind. While these students are spending 4 years in lecture halls learning theory that won't show up in their actual job, there are 17-year-olds right now who dropped out of high school, picked up a laptop, learned a skill from YouTube, and are billing $5,000 a month doing freelance video editing, copywriting, or web design. There are 19-year-olds running e-commerce stores doing $30,000 a month. There are 21-year-olds with faceless YouTube channels that generate passive income while they sleep. And these people don't have degrees. They have Wi-Fi and 12 months of practice. Here's the reality. The game has changed. But nobody updated the rulebook they handed you. And it's getting worse. Not better, worse. The job market that was supposed to absorb all these graduates, it's shifting under everyone's feet. AI is eating entry-level jobs faster than anyone predicted. Customer service, data entry, basic writing, paralegal research, junior coding tasks. These are all being automated right now, not in 10 years, right now. McKinsey published a report saying that by 2030, up to 30% of current job tasks could be automated. And those aren't the high-level, creative, entrepreneurial tasks. They're the exact tasks that most new graduates spend their first 5 years doing to get experience. How is this even possible? You take on $80,000 in debt to learn skills that a $20 per month AI subscription can now do, and the institutions charging you that money can't know this. They know the landscape is shifting, but they also know you'll keep enrolling because it's what everyone does. The system isn't broken. The system is working exactly as it was designed to work. It keeps enough people hopeful to keep feeding it. Tuition goes up every year. Loan interest compounds every day. And the graduates, they're told to be patient, that the job market is tough right now, that experience takes time to build. Meanwhile, a 20-year-old in their bedroom is learning how to run paid ads for local businesses, charging $1,500 a month per client, and picking up 3 to 5 clients in their first year. That's $54,000 to $90,000 a year, no degree, no debt, no boss. And while the graduate is grinding through their third unpaid internship, hoping it converts to a $45,000 job offer, this person is already free. Is that fair? No. Is it the reality? Absolutely. Here's the really uncomfortable part. It's not that these teenagers are smarter than you. It's not that they got lucky. They just woke up to a truth that most people spend their entire 20s figuring out too late. The truth is, the internet has completely changed what it takes to generate income. But school never taught you how to use it. You were taught to be a good employee, not a good entrepreneur, not a creator, not a builder, a good, reliable, replaceable employee. And now that companies are replacing employees with software, where does that leave you? That question should keep you up at night. But here's the real question nobody is asking. Not how do I find a better job? Not what should I have studied instead? Not even how do I pay off my loans faster? The real question is this: why are we still measuring financial success using a system that was built for a completely different era? Think about it. The go to college, get a job, save your money framework was built in the 1950s, when one income could buy a house, when the same company hired you at 22 and gave you a pension at 65, when the internet didn't exist, when skills had a 20-year shelf life instead of 2. That world is gone, and it's not coming back. So why are we still running the same operating system? Why are we still telling 18-year-olds to borrow 6 figures to study something for 4 years when the most valuable skills in 2025 can be learned for free online in under 12 months? Why are we still parking money in accounts that barely keep pace with inflation when there are real, accessible ways to build wealth that schools never taught us? Why are we still working our entire lives toward a retirement at 65 when 25-year-olds are already designing lives where they work 20 hours a week and travel the world? The answer isn't inspiring. It's just honest. Because it's easier to manage people who believe they have no other choice. But you do have other choices. And that's exactly what I want to talk about now. Let's get practical. Because I don't want this to be just a rant. I want this to actually change something for you. Here's the mindset shift you need first. And this is important. Stop thinking about your time as something you trade for money. That is the employee mindset. And it will keep you trapped forever. Start thinking about your time as something you invest to build systems that generate money. That's the difference between getting a paycheck and building wealth. A paycheck stops the second you stop working. A system keeps working whether you're asleep, on a beach, or spending time with people you love. Okay, so what are the actual paths? Path 1. Sell a skill directly. This is the fastest way to start. Pick one skill that businesses need: copywriting, video editing, graphic design, social media management, web development, email marketing, SEO, paid ads. You can learn any of these to a marketable level within 6 to 12 months using YouTube, free courses, and practice. Then you charge for it. Start at $500 a month per client. Land 3 clients. That's $1,500 a month, part-time, on the side, while you keep your day job if you want. Scale to 5 clients, raise your rates, and you're already matching entry-level salaries without the 40-hour week. This is not theory. There are thousands of 19 and 20-year-olds doing exactly this right now. Path 2, build a content asset. YouTube, a newsletter, a TikTok channel, a podcast. Pick one platform, pick one niche, and show up consistently for 12 months. I know, but I'm not interesting. But I don't want to be on camera. Faceless YouTube channels exist. Newsletter writers who never show their face earn 6 figures. The content doesn't have to be about you. It can be about your knowledge. Content compounds. A blog post you write today can bring in traffic for 5 years. A YouTube video you upload this week can still be getting views in 2030. That's asymmetric leverage. You put in the work once and it pays you repeatedly. Path 3, build something that people pay for monthly. Subscriptions, templates, digital products, a membership, an online course. Anything where someone pays you a recurring fee for ongoing value. This is how 22-year-olds are hitting $10,000 months. They build something once and sell it to hundreds of people. The internet allows that. Your local neighborhood doesn't. But the internet does. Now let's talk about your money. Stop keeping your savings in a standard checking or savings account. Full stop. At minimum, move your emergency fund into a high-yield savings account. You should be earning 4 to 5% on that money, not 0.01% that most big banks offer. Beyond that, learn about index fund investing. The S&P 500 has historically returned around 10% per year on average over the long run. You don't need to pick stocks. You don't need a financial advisor. You need a brokerage account, a monthly contribution, and the patience to leave it alone. A $500 per month contribution to an index fund at a 10% average annual return started at age 22 turns into over $3 million by retirement. $3 million from $500 a month and patience. But here's the key. The income to invest that $500 a month has to come from somewhere. And for most people, it's not coming from a $45,000 starting salary after rent and loan payments. Which is why building an income stream outside your job isn't optional anymore. It's the foundation. I want to be honest with you for a second. I didn't grow up knowing any of this. Nobody in my family talked about index funds or building skills for freelance clients or creating content that earns passive income. None of it. I was told the same thing you were told. Study, work, save, retire. And at some point, I just started asking, why does everyone I look up to who's genuinely free, genuinely wealthy, genuinely happy with their time, why does none of that look like the plan I was handed? Why are the 30-year-olds I see living the lives I want to live, not the ones who followed the traditional path? Why are they the ones who dropped out to build something, or learned a skill in their bedroom, or started creating content when everyone said it was a waste of time? I started to realize that the people telling me to be realistic were often the most financially trapped people in the room. And that realistic was just the language of a system defending itself. So this is why I make content like this. Not to be contrarian, not to tell you that college is evil or that savings accounts are literally criminal. Some paths make college 100% worth it. Some situations make a savings account totally appropriate. But I refuse to let you sit here watching this video and then walk away thinking you have no other options. You are living in the most powerful moment in human history for building wealth without permission, without a degree, without a boss, without a decade of paying your dues. The barrier to entry is a Wi-Fi connection and 12 months of focused, consistent effort. That's it. And the people who figure that out at 20 don't just have more money at 30, they have more freedom, more options, more time, and more dignity. That's what this is about. Not getting rich quick. Building a life you actually chose. This is a generation thing. Gen Z and millennials got handed a broken system and told to smile through it. Higher costs. Lower wages in real terms. Automation creeping in. Housing that costs 8 times the average salary. The old answer to that was work harder. The new answer is build smarter. If you're still watching this, you're already different from most people. Most people will hear what I just said, feel something shift in their chest or nod their head, close the video, and go back to scrolling. Don't be that person. I want to ask you to do one thing before you close this video, just one. Pick one skill, just one, something that businesses pay for, and commit to 30 minutes a day learning it for the next 90 days. That's it. That's your only homework. Not 10 things. Not a full plan. Not a business idea mapped out on a whiteboard. One skill, 30 minutes a day, 90 days. Because here's the truth, in 90 days, you can be good enough at one skill to land your first client. And your first client changes everything. It changes how you see yourself. It changes what you believe is possible. It cracks the door open in a way that no motivational video ever can. If you're tired of watching other people build the life you want, you are not alone. If you feel like you did everything right and the system still somehow failed you, you are not alone. If you're sitting there with a degree or a job that feels like a cage you willingly walked into, you are not alone. There is a generation of people quietly waking up to this right now. They're not on the news. They're not being celebrated. They're just building, quietly, in their bedrooms, on their lunch breaks, after the kids go to sleep. And one day, maybe sooner than you think, they'll look up and realize they're free. You can be one of those people. Subscribe if you want more of this. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And drop in the comments, what skill are you committing to for the next 90 days? I'll see you in the next one.